G'day guys, Phil here. Welcome to another replay that seems to be pretty awesome. I have not actually watched it, so I say that with great anticipation because some of the comments on this particular replay, which was up on PlayXP, were that this was a bit crazy. So we'll hopefully see some awesome antics here between these two players. Number one, we have this player here, the red Protoss here on Scrap Station. He's up on the, let's call this the left position. I'm going to just call it, let's just pretend that the map has actually sort of been moved around a little bit when we're referring to starting positions. Or if you like the clock, we're looking at the 12 o'clock expansion. This player, I actually have no idea what the hell this word means. Someone please translate it. Where's Junker when I need him? The great man Junker. From GSL, the translating hero. Make sure you have a look on Facebook for the GOM Translator Junker is Awesome group and show some love for that man because he does a fantastic job at the GSL. Enough GSL promotions, but yeah, so I'm not actually sure what this dude's name is. I couldn't really translate it out properly. Someone help me out, but he is going to be against down here on Scrap Station on the right position, or if we're going by the clock as before, this is I suppose the 2-3 o'clock position, perhaps 2:30, sort of afternoon tea time. This is NosBally, Bally, well, I'm not sure, let's call him Bally. Bally is actually, if I remember correctly, is actually a Warcraft 3 player and actually was a pretty decent player on the Korean side of the table. He was not... some of the Warcraft guys, if you ex-Warcraft guys are watching, please make sure you correct me because I'm not exactly sure. He was a very decent player back in the days when he was on Warcraft 3, but he has now made the switch over to the superior game, and as we can see, he is now playing as Terran in StarCraft 2. So we're going to see him. He's gotten, he's not going to wall off, which is generally pretty common here on Scrap Station, especially against Protoss. He's got his refinery up. He's grabbing another supply depot, so we're not going to see anything fancy from either of these guys. We've got Red. I'm going to call him Red, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but Red has got his gateway up, a cybernetic score on the way, and second gas as well. So nothing too fancy from either of these players. We've got a Marine heading out here. I think this Marine might just be checking, well, a nice little micro there just to check what was down there in the gas vents. But I think that Marine is going to head down here to the Zelnaga Tower and make sure he's watching what's happening. But I think Red is actually aware and does a nice little maneuver there, tries to escape when the Marine actually loses sight from the gas, but the probe is actually going to get inside. Meanwhile, up here, Bally actually has his SCV, just doing a dance here. I think that that SCV is actually getting sucked into this this air duct here, but I'm not really sure. Meanwhile, the probe goes down. We have one Marauder and one Marine out on the map, and SCV is coming down here. What is this guy doing? I think he's just checking for... Wait, no he's not. He actually is getting a early command center. We've got a command center here on 22 supply with just one racks up with just a couple of units out. So another very daring eco game here from Bally. If you guys didn't actually check it out before, make sure you go have a look at Moonglade, the Australian Zerg destroyer, actually taking out OGS Top, Top did some fantastic play with some very eco-based play. I won't give it away too much, but just make sure you go have a look at that one because that was actually a really cool game. Meanwhile, Red is not going to be aware of this expansion down here for a long time. I would suspect it's not very often that you would ever see a Terran run down there and grab that gold expansion, but if Bally can get it up and running without any interference from Red, he's going to obviously have a massive eco lead at the moment. But we can see very cool play here, very high level stuff from Bally. He's actually taken his 3 SCVs out of the gas. He's grabbed enough gas to get a couple of Marauders out and obviously the tech lab, and that's it. And he's also getting stim as well. So he's grabbed enough gas to get the stim and a couple of Marauders up, and he's switched all of his SCVs across to gas so he can make sure he has enough to get a few racks up. Now, as you can see, we have a bunker in a bit of a odd spot. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. I think he's okay. He's just trying to make a little ring here near the ramp to make sure he can cover all sides of the ramp, and he's going to pump out some Marines. Perhaps we might see some Foxer Marines, which would make me fall in love, but I'm not sure just yet. Red's going to take his expansion over here at the natural and make sure that he's got that secure by firstly just keeping an eye on the rocks here. So he's got two avenues covered here. He's got this particular way through the rocks here if Bally was to attempt something crazy and try and bust through the rocks quickly. And we also have a pylon here, just watching most of this entry point here down just at this little choke point. But as we can see, Bally's keeping an eye on things. He's got an SCV at the Xel'Naga watchtower, and we have some mules. He actually, I think Bally may have saved all of his energy from his command centers, actually. This is a very clever move here, and has actually chucked the 3 mules down here on the gold expansion. This is clever in a couple of ways. Number one, obviously you have the increased retrieval rate of the mules, taking all of the gold minerals as soon as they can and getting it in. Plus, also, this has the effect, given that the mules take the minerals so quickly, is that you can actually get this done and dusted pretty like a lot sooner than it was if it was just purely SCVs sitting there on the gold expansion. So he's a very clever tactic there, and obviously by that, just back on that topic, what I mean by getting all the minerals out of there quickly is that with all of the minerals gone, he can safely either move this command center back or perhaps just use it as a spotting position here. And obviously if our red Protoss player came down to try and take it, he can say, haha, get stuffed, I've already got it. So it's just a great little tactic here by Bally, and in fact he's even going for a 3rd command center down here at the proper natural, not the gold expansion natural down at the other end of the map, just the proper natural over here. And we have an observer spotting that, so we have so our red Protoss has actually seen what is happening there. He's trying to keep an eye on what's happening. Let's just have a quick look in his cam at what he's doing. Is keeping on his production. He's got thermal lance on the way. You can see that there is a turret here, so this observer needs to be really careful. And he's just going to spot what's happening here. So he just suspects nothing out of the ordinary is happening. He's very unaware of the fact that our Terran player Bally actually has a 3rd, indeed the gold. So he's going to need to be careful of what's happening. Let's have a quick look in Bally's cam. Bally's scanning up here. He can see that the thermal lance is on the way. Whoops, there we go. And he just sees that there is a bit of production going on. He is now just trying to take the middle of the map. We are sort of flicking around just to see what Bally is looking at. He's getting some more production going. A Ghost Academy is just about done, but that is enough of that because I am getting all crazy looking at all that. So Bally is actually getting a Ghost Academy on the way. Nice little supplement to normal bio forces is the Ghost, because the Ghost can EMP, snipe, that sort of thing, just to make sure you are taking out as much of the Protoss forces as you can. And it looks as if Red is actually going to try and bust through the rocks here, so we'll have to see how he progresses with that. We've got 1 Marine and the Automaton 2000 keeping an eye on the rocks here. These two guys are just going to make sure they can actually see when the Protoss comes through, but it looks as if we have an observer here just watching what's happening at the Xel'Naga watchtower. And I think Bally is now actually aware that this is coming. So we've got 2 Colossus and a whole bunch of Zealots and some sentries here just watching what's happening here at the rocks, and they can see what's going on. There is a scan here. He actually took out an observer, which was really a nice move by Bally, but he's actually going to have a little bit of trouble here now that the thermal lance is it done? It is indeed done, and we actually have Zealot legs on the way as well, so we may see a bit of an attack here, or it looks as if Red's just trying to get the rocks out of the way so he can just put a little bit of added pressure on Bally's forces here in the main. Now, just off this these 3 bases, we have 7 racks, all 7 of them with reactors, so if needed, Bally can pump out a buttload of Marauders, and he has certainly done that so far. He's got a whole heap of Marauders. In fact, he has 20 Marauders, 7 Marines, and 1 Ghost is out. Now, we have a couple of Vikings as well. We've got a factory just lifting off, I think. What's he doing with this? He might be perhaps going into the middle to spot what's happening. But we'll see how he goes with this. Now, the thing is, Red can actually see what is happening here. He's moving. You can see that Bally is moving out all of his forces. We now have 3 Colossi out on the map, plus 1 weapons is on the way. We actually... Whoa, hang on a second. We actually have a nuke here from Bally. He's getting a nuke prepared. I'm not sure how he's going to implement this particular attack, but perhaps we'll see a drop to take out some of these probes, or a drop over here on these probes. Wow, that is a heavy, heavy saturation there. DT Shrine is done, and the factory is over here now spotting what's going on. We even see hallucination. That is not something you see every day from Protoss forces. We have 6 here from the